we're gonna grip it and rip it a little today.
I don't know what else that I could be, and I don't know what else that I could do, and I don't know what else that I could say, and I don't know what else I'm being anyway. I don't know what else that I could be, and I don't know what else to believe.
All right, so today's December 17th, 2019. Here in Forest Park, Leif Erikson Trail, Leif Erikson Drive, Forest Park, Oregon. Gonna do a little long run today, 22 miles, about 35K. I'll go up to the bathrooms, then add on the first 2 miles, and then go out 10 miles or 16K. Come back, hopefully it's not too muddy. Got my dad on his bike here. So we're gonna grip it and rip it a little today. Last 10 miles, probably do a negative split, try to make it a little more up tempo. Nothing too crazy and hard, but definitely getting in a steady effort. Take a couple of Spring Energy Canaday gels, so gotta get warmed up. It's a little cold out. All right, so context of training. Again, you know, kind of a disappointing 10K race effort. I did end up getting a little bit sick. It hasn't been horrible yet. I've definitely been coughing and yeah, can't breathe as well. Got some congestion. Didn't think this would be this wet and muddy. Hopefully it's not too slick. But yeah, trying to keep the mileage pretty high. Definitely gonna rest up and taper a bit more though. Try to get some speed back. All right, so actually I'm gonna go ahead and do the 10 miles out, 16K out, and then I'll add on the extra 2 after I finish at the very end. But yeah, 100-mile training week last week. We'll keep the volume pretty high, but gonna be more aggressive with the taper. Try to rest up before this one, get the legs firing again, get over this illness. Here we go with the long run though. All right, so it's a little muddy back there. Hopefully it's drier up here. 6:40 first mile. Definitely feeling the breathing from being sick. I got a nasty cough. Just felt a little extra tired. So, you know, want to be conservative, not overtrain. At the same time, I'm training for a marathon. You got to beat the legs to a pulp. You got to run high mileage. I will shift my focus though to work on that stride power, leg power at shorter workouts, right? Faster 1,000-meter repeats, things like that. Try to get efficiency back because desperate times call for desperate measures. It's a beautiful day out though. It's not raining, not windy. Runner's up. Oh man. Almost should have worn the Torrens trail shoes. All right, 3rd and 4th miles, almost 6K in. Went sub 6-minute pace. Slightly uphill, not uphill heading out. Like I said, it's pretty muddy. So probably won't hammer as much in the 10 miles coming back down. Don't want to pull a groin. But also don't want to push too hard because I am sick. Just had a crappy tune-up race. You know, it's better to be 10% undertrained than 1% overtrained. So getting in the effort, putting the distance in on the feet. Beautiful area. Keep the momentum rolling. Another quick thing. Noticed some comments about my diet. You know, that's fine, that's okay. Look at the scientific studies. Show some proof. People say, if you just eat some meat, you'd run 2:10 in the marathon, make the Olympics. Or you'd run an OTQ. I already ran a couple OTQs with no meat, right? Been vegetarian my whole life. 6 sub 2:20 marathons. Top 20 at Boston. Top 20 at Chicago. It was all on a vegetarian diet. So I could be wrong, but I don't think some bacon and eggs and heavy whipping cream and a steak is gonna make the difference. There's other factors with your training usually affect performance. It's not a magic bullet or a magic pill. That being said, get my blood values checked. It's about overall health, optimizing performance. making sure you're not low in something like vitamin D, right? A lot of Americans are. Just doing the best you can, the resources you have. But, you know, I race a subpar race according to my standards, and it's my diet. If I have a good race, like getting second at Pikes or getting second at Xterra World Trail Champs 4 weeks ago, then don't hear about the diet. It's a weird double standard. That being said, got a lot of work to do with my form and conditioning now. Had a good mountain season this year with Sierras and all, Pikes, making the Golden Trail Series final. But, you know, taking a break from that, regrouping. It's all about finding that form again, that peak form, right? Could probably run less mileage, 60, 80 miles a week, 120K a week, and maybe still run a 224, 225 marathon, but I don't want to do that.
I gotta shift.
Gotta run under 220. And now that I'm overthinking things, because I like to overanalyze, I'm a data guy, what can I say? Nerds unite. Geek out. I think maybe my running form actually gets more sloppy when I start doing higher mileage on flat pavement. I'm durable, I don't get injured. I could handle the pounding. Hokas feel great on the asphalt and pavements, but I was more focused uphill running, doing high intensity hill sprints, high intensity hill reps, and trail stuff, less pounding, but more glute hamstring activation with the elevation when I was mountain running, because my form's just better uphill. So the flat pavement running, gotta get used to it for Houston. It's a really flat course. Gotta get ready for the pounding, but gotta make sure I'm still using my hamstrings and glutes and calves and not trying to bounce off my quads, because that's when I run slow and it feels really hard, like in that 10K race I just did. So it's crunch time. Not much time left. I admit, it's gonna be hard. It's daunting. You know what? I wouldn't have it any other way though. You know, holiday season, a lot of travel, winter season, adverse weather, especially in Colorado and the Midwest, where I'm going back to after this. You know, we all have obstacles we have to face. We do the best that we can with the data we've been given, and, you know, try to stay on the positive. Just keep striving for self-improvement, even if it's not all-time PR. Just improvement in your stride, improvement in your mental outlook, improvement in your health, having more fun and enjoying the process, and ultimately higher quality of life. Ooh, it's uphill. All right, over 5 miles in, 8K now. Gotta slow down a little. I got a drink out. Get some of this Spring Energy Electrolyte. I got it. Look at this. Elite fluid style. Elite fluid support. Kipchoge style. Thanks, Dad. Spring Energy Electrolyte drink, enter code CH for discount. My Spring Energy sponsor plug. Apple juice flavor. A little salty, nice and good. All right, so a little over 13 miles in, half marathon in. Actually went out 11.25 miles, I think. So I won't have to add on at the end. If I take a Canaday pretty soon here at mile 15, Been rolling low 6-minute mile splits according to the markers. Alright. Okay. Alright, so just finished up a little over 22 miles, at least according to the markers there, just straight out and back. Didn't get going as fast as anticipated initially, partly because of the mud, partly because I'm being extra conservative because I've been sick. And you know, it's a change. In the past I used to really smash a lot of hard long runs, and so this is kind of a step back. We'll be lowering the mileage, tapering more aggressively, focusing more on turnover and intensity as we get into the final month here of tapering. Hopefully the weather's not too bad, but took one Canaday gel, took a couple sips of electrolyte during that. Yeah, it was middle of another pretty hard training week, but we'll be tapering it down. And again, long runs are the core backbone of good marathon training. We usually recommend a lot of people hit close to marathon pace for at least part of their miles in a long run, or negative split it. That means speed up. And so some long runs are about putting time in on the feet, getting the mileage up. Some long runs are about going pretty hard, pretty fast, because it's really specific to the demands of when you're kind of bonking in a marathon. But for me, I tend to do these things too hard. Again, when I ran 216, I was doing 120 miles a week for like 2 months straight, and I won't do that volume now because I tend to overtrain when I do that. But it's a fine balance between stress and super compensation versus resting and overtraining. So finally, yeah, like I said, desperate times call for desperate measures, and we will be tapering more aggressively, working on more turnover and speed, and trying to get that glute activation, as well as, you know, staying on top of the health things, right? You got to eat right regardless of what type of diet you have. You got to sleep right. You can't get sick. Hopefully I got sick now, so I won't get sick again. That would be rare for me, actually. And hopefully get over this illness. Again, maybe a blessing in disguise, because you kind of have to rest up more. Didn't totally crush this long run, but still got in a solid effort, and you know, it's pretty far. So thanks so much for all the Patreon supporters for really making the YouTube channel possible. Of course, my title sponsor, Hoka One. Check them out. Shoes for any surface, any distance. Thanks to my dad for filming out there on the bike today in the cold. His hands are getting cold coming down. It's pretty moist out, so really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Stay tuned for more.